Did you ever feel homesick when you were away?
Especially when, like, in times of moments when I was burning the candle at both ends and I was just burnt out from various avenues. You'd either take this situation that you're placed in and do something with it, or you just kind of just pack it in.
Just work, just work, just work, just work. Work.
Hey everybody, welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Joanna Wilson. Today I am joined by my wonderful cousin and housemate and financial dependee, Mitchell Wilson. And we're going to be chatting about a really interesting topic today. We're going to be chatting about moving away from home and what that's like and why you do it and how it feels, etc, etc. But before we do that, do you want to just introduce yourself to anybody who may not have met you yet if they've been living under a rock?
Yeah, I mean, hello, I'm Mitchell. As Jay said previously, I'm Jay's cousin. In terms of like what we're going to speak about moving away, you know, I'm originally from Middlesbrough. When I went to do my acting course, I lived in Newcastle for 3 years. Once COVID hit, I wanted to change, moved to Leeds with Jane to 5i, and since then it's been unbelievable, like a big move and a move that I'm so happy I did. Also in the line of work I do, as I'm an actor, I move around with certain shows and doing certain gigs in certain areas in the country, so I'm moving around a lot. So
yeah, I think before we dive into that, my first question for you was actually going to be way back before you moved. Like, what was your relationship with being at home like when you were younger?
I always knew there was life more beyond Middlesbrough, and when I look back, it's weird as you get older and wiser with age. You kind of think, why did I not have this mindset at that age? But at the time I was 17, 18, so you're a bit apprehensive on certain topics and stuff. Like, you know, Middlesbrough's my home and I'm proud of where I'm from, but I knew from a while back in what I wanted to pursue as an actor and what I'm doing, there wasn't as many opportunities in that. So I couldn't have stayed there. I mean, I'll go back to my family, my friends and my girlfriend are there, but at the same time, I knew I had to move away. I could have moved a further field. I think when I first moved to Newcastle, I was bricking it. I was so nervous. When I'm in it, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Something seems more nerve-wracking when it's about to happen.
Yeah. Until
it happens.
Yeah.
And then I remember the second day I was in Newcastle, I messaged my mum saying, like, I love it. I wasn't moving too far. Middlesbrough to Newcastle is around a 45-minute drive. So I wasn't too far away, but it's the principle of not living at home. You're more independent. You have to do things that you didn't realise you actually have to do, like, which we can speak about as well. Like,
yeah. So was the plan always to go to university, do you think?
If I'm being honest, looking back, I think I jumped the gun because what everyone was doing at my age was going to university or something. If you were to ask me now what I would have done, I think I would have took a year or two out to just actually think, what the hell do I actually want to do? And looked further afield. I think if I would have had a year or two extra, I don't think I would have done my acting course at Northumbria.
What do you think you would have done?
I don't think I would have went to London. Maybe a drama school in the Midlands. I know I would have. But then I always say that the person that I am and the skills that I've gained from what I've done and the things I've went on to do are because of me going to Northumbria. Mm-hmm. So I might not have met the people I did or be the person I am if I didn't go to the place I did. But that's only if I was looking back at it now, but I'm happy with the decisions I've made because it's, you know, got me to where I am right now, I guess.
So you moved 45 minutes away from home to Northumbria to Newcastle. What did you realise within the first week of moving away from home?
You're fully out your comfort zone regardless, and it's just an entirely different environment. You pick up on certain responsibilities for yourself. And I guess it's like you're dependent on yourself. It's like, what do you want to do? You're away from home, you're not in the comfort of being surrounded by your parents or your guardians. So I guess I learned quickly that you've got to look after yourself. In a nutshell, you have to navigate life how you want to do it. You have certain things to do. I might need to do a food shop then, clean my clothes, things like that. Like you learn that really, really quickly.
Did you ever feel homesick when you were away?
Yeah. Especially when, like, in times of moments when I was burning the candle at both ends and I was just burnt out from various avenues. And I guess, but knowing that I wasn't too far away was easier. For me, I had that cushion that if something wasn't feeling right, I could easily just go back in 40 minutes. I just cracked on with most things. I was always wanting to do things. I think that's what being a Wilson is, just wanting to do more and more and more, and keeping busy.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I obviously went a little bit further. I was about 3 hours away down in Cambridge. I was actually the opposite as a kid. Like, I wouldn't sleep out until I was about 14. Like, I wanted to be at home. I didn't go away. I wanted to be, like, in my comfort zone with my parents. And, like, if there was a sleepover, my mum would have to come pick me up at 10:30 because I refused to sleep out. So I feel like when the time came, obviously I grew up and did sleep out and did do all those things, but when the time came to come to university, it was like, flipping heck, she's going that far away. Like, this person never used to want to even leave the house. You just so quickly get used to where you are and what you're doing and what your little routine is and what you like. And actually, I think you've got to be very comfortable with yourself, and you actually have to probably learn that while you go away. Most people learn that, particularly if they go to university, and be comfortable being on your own and doing your own thing. But I think it so quickly just becomes the norm wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And I feel like you just, particularly at uni, I mean, I know I certainly did, I just ended up so busy that I didn't even think about not being at home.
You lived because that's the life that you're in now. Like, again, what I was saying earlier, you're in it.
Yeah.
Like, you're in what you're doing, so you don't necessarily think about going back or whatever, unless something drastic happens.
So after uni then, we both went away for uni and we both came home. Why did you come home after uni? Why didn't you want to stay in Newcastle?
I had no choice. Unfortunately, the terms I was in, I was in third year and COVID just flipped everything.
Of course, you were a year in front.
Yeah, third year, so it just flipped everything. So I felt more, and that was completely different. Like, that was something that in our lifetime we'll only probably experience once.
Yeah,
like,
you'd hope.
It was just crazy.
Yeah, nobody could have predicted that.
And for me, I was just like, I need to be at home for that whole period. And then everything was up in the air because I was kind of a bit lost in the sense of, because that hit everything off course. I was just like, so what is your plan? Like, what are you actually going to do? But everything was up in the air, so I didn't necessarily think of a plan. I was just living. I was just going with the times.
Before COVID hit, did you think that once you'd finished your degree, you'd stay in Newcastle?
That was the plan at the time that I felt I'd go through, that I'd stay there. But looking back, I think I was staying there just with the ties that I had with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I felt like that's what we should do. But looking back, when that ended during COVID, I kind of had two choices. It was like, either take this situation that you're placed in and do something with it, or you just kind of just pack it in. Everything literally just aligned. When you asked me to move in, when we kind of even briefly joked about it and spoke about it, it was like, you've got to go through with this, like, because this'll, you know, the opportunities are a lot bigger.
Do you think going home made you realise that you didn't want to stay at home? Not in a harsh way to your mum. Love you, Dad.
Like, as much as I love, I'm a proper mummy's point, I love my mum, it's like, I think she knows for me that there's more out there for me and what I can do than where I am. I think my mum always knew that I wouldn't stay. But she didn't know where I'd go or how far I'd go, but something more out there for me that I wanted to maybe explore or just actually learn.
Then you came to Leeds.
I did.
And you're still here.
I am.
2.5 years later.
It is mad that, innit?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does feel a bit crazy. It's been 2.5 years.
It feels like forever, but it also feels like 5 minutes. How did you find that move in comparison to the move to university?
A lot easier. I think because I wanted it more, especially in the times we were in, and I think because I was slightly older, and I felt like, you've got to make this move. Something in my chest saying, like, you've got to go. Like, this opportunity's sick, and you'll be surrounded by incredible people, and you've got family still with you. It's not like you're losing anything. And Leeds isn't, again, not too far from Middlesbrough, and like an hour half drive, if I needed to go back. But the move was a lot easier. But I think that was because of age and becoming more wiser, I guess, like, in terms of experiences.
Yeah. And how, like, do you feel in comparison to feelings when you were back at uni? Do you feel like you were sort of more in control in the move? Do you feel more...
I feel like it's easier for me because this is home.
Yeah.
To me, home is here, where I am now, which I don't think I built that while I was in Newcastle.
Did you live in halls for the 3 years that you were in Newcastle?
First year I was in halls, and second and third year we were in shared houses with people off my course.
And obviously in the meantime as well, in those 2.5 years, you've actually been away quite a bit and done some work away. You've been stationary in places when you've done training and things like that. You've then gone on tour, so you've stayed in different places. You would have felt the confidence to do that had you have not already experienced the being away from home. Do you feel like that's been quite a good stepping stone for you?
Yeah, and I think as well it's because knowing it's in line with my work.
Yeah.
So knowing that within me, it's like you're here for a reason, you're not just here for the sake of it. Like, it may seem a bit scary, but it's like you're taking your surroundings. It's like you might be in somewhere really cool. You know, I'm currently, whenever this video comes out, I'm currently on tour down in Sussex. I've never been that far down the country before. But like, taking in your surroundings and just where you are.
And are you staying in the same place, or are you...
So we move every
around?
week. So every week we might move in from one cottage to an Airbnb to another cottage. And we're constantly moving around, and it is a lot of... The only thing that might get a little bit tricky, which I know some people don't like, is living out of a suitcase, which can be difficult because you're packing. Like, maybe once you get comfortable for 3 days, you're gone into... It's like the life I chose, and knowing that I've experienced it in the life that I live, it's kind of just the norm. It's like, it's normal for me to... But moving to Leeds, and also in the time that I moved to Newcastle, it's like helped knowing that I've done that once, to be able to do it in my actual line of work. So it doesn't faze me, because I know a lot of people would get nervous about something like that. Just like...
Well, a lot of people never leave home, and I think that's often down to choice, which is absolutely respectable. What sort of advice would you give a person that is actually sat there thinking, you know what, I do think there's things for me beyond my hometown that I live in?
I'd always say just give things a try, because you won't know until you try it. Like, and hey, if you try something and it doesn't work out, at least you've experienced it and you've tried it. I think it's just about that, because how will you know if you don't experience something? It's like trying a new food. It's like, if you said, oh, I don't like blank, it's like, have you tried it? No. So it's like, I'd say just put yourself out your comfort zone, and you might not need to. I know a lot of people who will never leave Middlesbrough, not for any reason, it's just that's home to them. But for some people, they have that urge to move away. It could be 45 minutes up the road, it could be 6 hours across the world. But
I would recommend, like, particularly if you're not going to move, like, if you're going to move on your own versus moving with a friend or a partner or something like that. To be fair, if you're going to move with a friend or a partner, do this too. Do something temporary. As in, like, go away for a week on your own. Be with yourself. But not, like, to Spain in a hotel. Like, do something like book a cottage or an Airbnb somewhere else in the country where you would live a quote-unquote normal life, and just see what it feels like to have that experience, to live either on your own or away, or just fend for yourself a little bit more. I feel like that's quite something that just seems obvious to do and try, but most people wouldn't do that in those circumstances.
it's crazy that some people might not try that in their life. It's crazy, isn't it? So trying it young's a bit like, it's better.
What's next for your whereabouts?
Well, right now, at the time of recording, I'm currently on tour, but I'm back home with a theatre company down in Sussex. Until then, when I get back, I'll be back in Leeds, and I want to weigh up my options with my agent. I want to speak with her about my goals, where I'm wanting to see myself in 2024, and push for it. Not say things like, oh, I want to do something like this, like I will do this, because then it'll put me in a stronger position to like think, right, what's the next stage of my career?
And are you open to that being anywhere?
Yeah. Opportunities come from various places. Like, to travel and do something is amazing. If that requires me to be stationary somewhere else, it's the chances and risks I want to take to do what I want to do.
Can you be leaving?
Yeah, And I don't like leaving.
When it's work as well, I feel like, and it's work you're excited about, I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was sick.
A nice chat. It's nice to have these chats and just have the camera on. Obviously, we're sort of talking to the camera, but they're just quite insightful conversations that we would probably have anyway.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we can capture them. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please comment down below the people that you'd like to see on these chat videos and the topics that you would like us to chat about. We'll see you in the next one. Keep smashing it, and remember, anything is possible if you just work. Bye!